for your patience. So today we are actually discussing probiotics. Probiotic, like I have mentioned earlier, is one of those interventions that is making a lot of positive impacts on people and healthy living generally. So a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions, a lot of expectations about probiotics, but a lot of people still do not understand what it is about and how to harness the benefits of probiotics. It has been said that most diseases begin from the gut. What do we mean when we say it begins from the gut? We mean that they have some origin in the gut. So that is to say that gut health is like everything. And where did this theory come from? The theory is from the fact that 70 to 80% of all our neurons have their endings in the gut. As a matter of fact, we have our second brain in our guts. Those on YouTube, if you are on the first stream, please disconnect and join this. Disconnect and join this stream. It was a lot of mix up there. If you are on the first streaming, disconnect and join this one. That first one was an error. Sorry about that. It was an error. Okay, I think it's only one going on. All right. Speaking about probiotics, we say that a lot of our nerve endings are in the gut. And I will always say that if you've gotten your guts right, you have gotten everything right. Because even if it is exam, that's my usual analogy. That even if it's an examination, if you have 70% is pass mark, if not excellent in all exams. So on that note, we say that if you can take care of 70% of your health, which is your gut, you would have gotten everything right. And what are actually these probiotics? Remember, the last discussion we had was on prebiotics. This time we are talking about probiotics. So these prebiotics, just a recap, prebiotics were described to be life organism, to be undigestible carbohydrates that goes into your body, and the microbes that are already in your body would utilize them and use them, feed on them, and proliferate, kind of a feed for them. But today we are now talking about probiotics, which are now the real microorganisms themselves. So in this case, we are talking about introducing the microbes into your body, not introducing food that they will eat. On this note, we are now saying, what are the benefits? Number one, their benefits are boundless, and every day scientists keep finding out what the benefits are continuously are. The number one benefit is that they are helping your body to produce some very important vitamins that you may not get from food. Something like vitamin K. If you're on this live stream and you know what vitamin K does to the body, I'll be happy to hear from you. So something like vitamin K I should say is a very important one because it supports the production of blood clotting. Just a minute. It supports the making of blood clots. What does blood clots do? When you have wound and your body cannot clot, the wound cannot clot, you might bleed to death. Any wound, even if it's just a knife cut. But because the body does not produce it, that's why recently it's been introduced in hospitals that when a baby is born, they can inject the baby with vitamin K. But today we are saying that probiotics can actually help the body to produce vitamin K. Another vitamin is the B vitamins. If you are a parent to a child with special needs or just a parent, more or less, you should by now, or it's important that you know what vitamin B does to the brain of a child. So vitamin B is a whole lot of several vitamins. There are lots of them beginning from B1, B2, B12. B12 especially is the cobalamin. It can be either as methylcobalamin or cyanocobalamin. And we know that these vitamins are very important, especially for brain functioning and brain development. So on this note, we are saying that microbes in form of probiotics helps the body to produce this B vitamin. Aside, we have talked about vitamin K, we have talked about vitamin B. There is also hormones known as serotonin. These serotonins are also produced as a result of activities of your microbes in your body, which are the probiotics, which you can revitalize with probiotics. So this serotonin is a hormone that makes you either happy or sad. So it can control your mood depending on the level you have it. Some individuals who are having symptoms of depression, they probably do just need an additional serotonin. Now, these are three important things we have identified that the probiotic does. Another thing it does is that it helps to ward off the bad microbes which can cause leaky guts. If you've been following my lectures for long, you should understand that leaky gut is a very serious condition in children, adults, but mostly children with special needs. So, but with good microbial balance, which you can restore using probiotics, leaky guts may be prevented because they will ward off the activities of the bad microbes. And it is actually the bad microbes that could contribute to these leaky gut conditions. At the end of the day, we have looked at four different things that the probiotic does, and each of them is very essential to our health. Now, what we have to ask ourselves is how do we get these microbes? How do we get these probiotics? Number one source of probiotics are fermented foods. Fermented foods, I should say that not all fermented foods are equal. Some fermented foods are more than others. For instance, recently there are things like yogurts which are fermented. But what happens is that in order to sustain the freshness and prevent it from getting spoiled, a lot of manufacturers will go ahead to pasteurize it. So pasteurization is the method of using heat to reduce the number of microbes in a food to bring it to a level to increase the shelf life. So because people are pasteurizing yogurt, I personally would not just say go and drink yogurt. Not all yogurts are equal. Some yogurts are better than others. If you are able to get a brand of yogurt that have life culture, that is the only time you can assure yourself that you are having probiotics. Otherwise, you are just having fermented milk. There are other foods that we have in our locality. At Brain Foods, we pride ourselves to be inclined to local foods. Other foods like the iru that we use to make soup. However, there are concerns around iru and their likes. There is ugba, there is iru, there is, pap. The concern is that the method of processing, the method of preparation usually kills all of the probiotics in it. And that is why if you tell me now that maybe you are eating iru in your soup, that you are having probiotics, I may not agree with you because heat has probably already destroyed the microbes that are present. So it's either you have something like abacha where you have to eat it raw, or in the case of ugba, which is oyi seed, where you may just eat it as snacks or eat it in things like nkwobi, where you don't have to cook it before eating it. Those are the only instances where you can get your probiotics as fresh and as alive as they should be. But if you have already put it in the pot and cooked it, I am not assuring you that you are eating probiotics. I have already mentioned how you can eat it and get the probiotics. But yes, when we are preaching other things like not eating bouillon cubes, we always promote these foods. We always promote the roux, we always promote the ugba. We promote all of these things so that you know you are eating something healthy. But eating them as a source of probiotics, I will not assure you, unless you are eating them raw, which I've said, if you eat it in nkwobi or if you are eating it in abacha, whereby you don't have to cook it. Those are the only times you can assure yourself that you are getting the probiotics. But there are other simple ways that you can get your probiotics. There is one which might sound too foreign, but I tell you, it has come to stay, and it's something that I would encourage anybody who know me, who follow my teachings, or for whom I cater for, to make it like a lifestyle. Make it a lifestyle that there's no time that people walk into your kitchen that you will not have vegetables soaked in a container. Please make it a lifestyle. I have already mentioned the several benefits. Thank you, Akorede inclusion. Sauerkraut is like my mantra. I preach it all the time. And in fact, today I decided to bring it. See, I harvested this one. I harvested this about 1 week now. I harvested this sauerkraut for a week now. We've been drinking it. All you need is a spoon of this, because the weather here is not as hot as the weather at home. We had to keep this for almost 1 month for it to ferment. You can imagine, it stayed almost one. But if you are in a tropical country, if you are in Nigeria, you only need to do it for 2 weeks and you have your sauerkraut. So as you are removing the other one, you are putting the other one. So this is the chaff. Here is the chaff. This is my chaff. I actually have the video the day I was making it. I have the video on this YouTube. If you want, you can still go back and check. But there was one omission in that video. I did not show where I was adding salt. And in matter of fact, if you have sea salt, it's always better to use sea salt. So this chaff now is not a waste. That's why you see that I still have it. This chaff is not a waste. What you do with this chaff is that you can use it as your snacks. Let me not pretend. it's mm, it's biting. It's fermented. You can use it as snacks. I'm surprised, but my son loves it. In fact, he has come to remind me this night now. We have not taken our sauerkraut. So this is sauerkraut. Okay, this is the sauerkraut chaff. How else can you use this? If you can't eat it like this, which I urge you to do, you can pour it in your smoothies. Yes, you can pour it in your smoothies. Just make your smoothies, put a tablespoon or two of this. It will give it some kind of sharpness, which I'm sure you will like. So sauerkraut, you have your sauerkraut, you have your yogurt. If your yogurt is not pasteurized, you have your ugba and iru. If they are not cooked, you can have them uncooked, either as snacks. Ugba, you can have ugba as snacks, and you can have your iru made in maybe used to make abacha. So these are the ways you can actually get these probiotics. And bet me, they are not very expensive ways. This is one head of cabbage, one head of cabbage, and I think 2 pieces of carrot. I added the carrot for diversity and for just flavor too. Even in this, you can add things like spices. Some people like to add spices in their sauerkraut, so they can just come out more flavorful. So you can see the water. You can see, I don't know if these videos don't give it justice. It doesn't give it justice. The water is so nice. Like, it looks this yellow, carrotish, orangish beauty. So at the end of the day, if we get this done, as soon as you're removing it, you are putting another one, you are soaking another one. Well, so that by the time this is finishing, another one is almost getting ready. It takes less than an hour or an hour 30 minutes to complete. And this is something you do once in about 3 weeks or once in about 1 month, like myself, like this one. So it is, the benefits are boundless. The benefits are priceless. There are things you cannot just do and you will see the benefits. Another benefit I would urge ladies is that it helps you to control your weight too. With this, with probiotics, what it does is that it helps the body to break down all your food completely and nicely. They don't help, they you know that bad microbes are also encouragers of inflammation, and being fat is a form of inflammation. So with probiotics, if you've been to a pharmacy looking for probiotics, you know that there are also probiotics that are meant to control your weight. And why this is good is that it is almost like we're harvesting wild probiotics. Wild because the cabbage is from the farm. I've always been explaining this. When the cabbage is growing, they open their hands like this. This is how cabbage grow. They grow like vegetable. They grow like this. And then over time, they start coming together. They start coming together. So when they are together like that, nobody would have gone to wash the inside of the cabbage. No, everything they have gathered in that farm is neatly stored inside it. And that is also like a multiple source of your microbes. That is why when somebody is having ulcer, when somebody is having any form of digestive problems, they are always advised to to drink cabbage water. You are crushing cabbage and drinking it. It is because the microbial load is enormous. You have a lot of microbial load, and in most cases they are not usually pathogenic are microbes that can cause diseases. In most cases they are not pathogenic. So doing this is like bringing that microbe, giving them food. By the time you are crushing the leaves, you are releasing the sugar from the cabbage. So it's like you are bringing those microbes, releasing the sugar, giving them food by releasing the sugar, and asking them, oh yeah, grow as many as you can. If you have one, give birth to 2 billion, give birth to 5 billion, so that by the time I take a spoon of this into my mouth, like 1 tablespoon of this is more than 20 billion coliform forming units. And one coliform forming unit is almost like billions of microbes to form one coliform forming unit. And if you are very conversant with probiotics, the higher the CFU, the higher the cost. So some probiotics that have like 50 billion CFU will be selling for like 35,000 naira, and there's some that have like 25 CFU will be selling for like 20,000 naira. So, and how much is a cabbage? Like one fat cabbage highest 8,000 naira now. So if you could use 1,000 naira and a container and maybe a mortar that you will use to squash it, to make yourself something that you would go and buy for 50,000, for 30, 40,000. I mean, check them now. Let me say check them now, who they lose. So I feel that mothers, parents generally should just learn to make this a habit, that as it is finishing, you are making another one. As it is finishing, you are making another one. Make it like a habit in your household, and I bet you may not have business with hospitals, you may not have business with pharmacies. Your children should be able to play around without you being afraid of what they can contact. Actually, the more they are exposed to, the higher they are resistant to the foreign ones they will see. Because when the body meets a kind of microbe, it kind of registers in the body, it produces an antibody. And when it produces an antibody, the next time it sees that microbe, it will not get infectious to the body. So exposing your children to as many microbes as possible is also one big reason why people are very passionate about plant-based diet. Yes, when we are advocating plant-based diet, we are advocating plant-based diet not just because of the nutrients, but because it is also a way to expose your body to large amounts of different kinds of microbes. Like this sauerkraut now that I made with cabbage and carrot. Inside this sauerkraut, I have the family of microbes that live in cabbage. I have the family of microbes that live in carrot. If I had added cucumber too, I would also have the family of microbes that live in cucumber. So that is what we call diversity. Diversity in nutrition is like the highest thing you can do for a child or yourself. I mean, what is good for geese is also good for gander. Somebody say what is good for Greece is also good for Uganda. So if you think something is good for your child, why not also good for yourself? Like I said, this will help you to maintain a good weight. This will help you to maintain a good gut health. This will help you to maintain a good emotional health. So it's not just for your child, it can work for you too. So probiotic is like, to me, is like an elixir. In fact, before you say anything, I will first of all start with probiotics. If you have diarrhea, for instance, maybe you just woke up in the morning and then your tummy is just doing brr, brr, brr. The first point of call should be either a probiotic or activated charcoal. You could do activated charcoal, then put a probiotics. And how can you get a probiotic in your house in this situation? Just find a raw milk, a raw pap. Go to your fridge or wherever you keep pap, get raw pap, put it in a plate and put just a little bit of sugar. Why are you putting sugar? The sugar will help the microbes to grow very fast. So when they see the sugar, they will rush it and eat it and grow. They become plenty within a very short time. So if you put that small sugar inside raw pap and drink it, you are providing your body with probiotics. There is a very popular one, flora numb. Flora numb is very common at home, but a lot of times people don't look at it before they would have gone and started drinking Flagyl and drinking all those things. I'm not conversant with them because I don't do them. I do not do them. So what we are saying here is that probiotic is like a first aid that every home should have, either as a food, or as maybe sauerkraut, or as pap, or as iru, or as akpaka. Yes, go to your room. Yeah. So either as akpaka, or as iru, or as pap, or as sauerkraut, please make sure that every point in time you have a source of probiotic in your household. As a mother, not just as a mother to a child with special needs, but just as a mother, even as a woman, as a wife. Yes, I was using this to help my husband with flattening his tummy. So after exercise, he would take a spoon of it. Even though I was not happy because he's shorting it for my daughter, she just came here to say hello. So she's the one who actually owns it as it is. But the father was just shorting the thing with using it to help himself with his tummy. So this is just going a long way to tell you that probiotics is like an all-rounder. So tonight, for those who are just joining, we have covered several things. We have covered what probiotic is, where we say that it's life microorganisms that you introduce to the body. We have covered how you can get it, where we said you can get it from fermented foods, but very careful with yogurt, because a lot of manufacturers pasteurize their yogurt. You have to know that this yogurt has live microbes, and you can get it from our local foods like iru, like ugba, but if they are not cooked before consumption. And we have also said a lot of things that the probiotic does to the body. We said that it helps the body to produce vitamin K, which is the vitamin that helps blood clotting. It helps the body to produce vitamin Bs, which are the vitamins that support brain functioning. And it also helps the body to produce happy hormones, which helps you to keep happy, and it helps the body to ward off the activities of bad microbes, which can lead to leaky gut and other conditions, food allergies. And it can also help the body to control weight by helping your body to break down the food properly, in addition to maybe digestive enzymes. So we have also said you can have things like sauerkraut in your pantry. You can ferment it. It takes 2 weeks in a temperate region and upwards of 3 weeks to 1 month in a cold region. And we have exhausted, we have said extensively how wonderful it can be for your health. So tonight, this is what we have for you. As a mother, you will be doing yourself, your children, your husband, your whole family a whole lot of good if you can just invest in this very cheap but wonderful way of keeping healthy, which is known as sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is the cheapest and most available probiotics, which I said you could use as a snack. Oh my god. Ah! You can use it as a snack, or you can use it in your smoothies. So thank you so much. If you're on Instagram, if you want to speak, I can add you to the screen. Otherwise, if you want to type, I can also add you. You can also type. I can see it. But that's what I have for you tonight. And I feel really blessed that you are here to join me when I say what I have to say. I mean, you never can tell who needs the information at each point in time. I have to I have to keep awake and do this because everyone knows. Well, I'm not sure, but school have started and it's not funny at all. Mothers in the house, it's not funny. Waking up in the morning, oh yeah, come and do this, come and wash, come and clean this place, eat your food, brush your teeth. It's not funny every morning. So I thank you that you are here. And please go ye and preach to the nations. If you see a mother struggling with their children's gut issues, a child that is just, having loose stool, even dogs, don't get me wrong. My nephew's dog once developed diarrhea and he just called me and was like, Auntie, what can I do? Leo is having loose stool. I said, go and buy probiotics. And he got the Floranum. Within like 4 5 hours, he said he hasn't had again. The Leo was actually vomiting and stooling. He said he hasn't vomited again, he hasn't stooled again. And that was how it went. Because he went to the vet said the vet wasn't coming until on Monday or something like that. So these things are good for your guts, they are good for your system, and they are not expensive. You must not buy the probiotics so expensive. Do this 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, and you have it for 2 3 good weeks, and you do another one continuously, and you'll be healthier for it. Please, you've been wonderful mothers. For you to be here, I know you want to get it right. I know you want to get it better. For you to show up like this and be sitting here and be listening to me, I know you want to get it right. And if you think you need further help, that is why Brain Foods is here. Brain Foods is, it might sound crazy, but we have decided to be supporting parents, especially parents with children with neurodevelopmental delays. People will say, how many people are, yeah, even if it's one person, I'm putting a smile on their face. I am happy. So if you think you still need support, if you think you still need extra help, doing healthier things at home, that is why we're here. We are on YouTube like this. We have a lot of videos that can help you. We are on Instagram like here. That's why we are doing what we are doing. We are on TikTok. We are on we have a website. We are on LinkedIn. We are everywhere that we ought to be. We are on Thread, we are on Twitter, we are everywhere that we need to be. So please do not hesitate to reach us. We are always available for you. Thank you so very much and have a beautiful night's sleep. Tomorrow is school. Well, I don't know, but if tomorrow is school, take care. If tomorrow is not school, get a good night's rest. Thank you again for showing up. I am glad you did. Bye bye. If you're here, if you followed me tonight, I am going to follow you back, and you know, who knows, we could do something together tomorrow, any day. Life is all about learning, unlearning, and relearning. If you think there is any way we can work together, I am always my doors are open. I am open to collaborations. I am open to trainings. I am open to speech, like speaking engagements. I am all yours. And thank you again for coming. Have a beautiful night. I will love it here on YouTube first, and I will